In this example, you're going to learn about a new feature that we have added in version 9.7. In 9.7, we have introduced something called the parallel for. And basically, the goal of the parallel for is similar to dynamic sub-workflow, where you can actually put steps between the parallel for, and at runtime, it will build itself and it will run n number of times. So let's go ahead and create a new workflow definition. So I'm going to go ahead and say create, and let's say parallel for demo. We're going to go ahead and open that. Once we have opened that, you're going to search for the parallel. And there are two steps. There's a parallel steps, execute parallel steps in parallel. Okay? And you're also going to need something called the parallel for end marker step. Okay? So you need to put your steps in between these two steps. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and use our famous decision step, the 1 = 1. So in this case, let's grab two of these guys and connect them together. And if you look at the parallel for step, you will see there are two required inputs. One is a list of keys, and this list of keys should be provided as a comma separated list, and this could come from a variable or a global. In this case, I'm going to just provide the values 1, 2, 3 as a list, and it's also asking variable to hold the key value. So I'm going to define a variable called variable.key, let's say. And if I save this, you will see that it's going to ask me to define what key is. Let's say we are going to pick number as the format for the variable and say add that. And now we should be able to save it. Now, once we have done that, let's go ahead and execute this workflow. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new instance. At runtime, what will happen is this particular loop step is going to go ahead and take this value, the number of keys, and is going to expand this workflow, automatically build itself to be 3 parallel paths going into this particular end for loop. And this is more like a synchronized step. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's create an instance. I'm going to go ahead and generate a name for the instance. And I'm going to say create execute. And we're done. And let's go to the workflow instances. And you can see it's already executed or completed. And if I render the graphic, you will see there are 3 parallel paths here that are going into the parallel end step. And you can also see there's a number next to each step name now, 1, a 2, a 3 index, so that you know this is path 1, path 2, path 3. And if you go look at the variables in each of these steps, so let's go ahead and look at variables. You will see the key variable has the value of 1. And if you look at this step and look at the variables, the key has a value of 2. And if you look at this particular step and the variables, the key has a value of 3. So you can see any structure that you put will be replicated automatically within the loop and expanded and built at runtime.